The phone rings just as I'm finishing a client presentation. Emily's name flashes on the screen. My 11-year-old shouldn't be calling at 2 in the afternoon. Something's wrong. Mom? Her voice trembles. Can you come get me? I'm at the San Francisco station. My heart stops. The train station? What are you doing there? Dad was supposed to pick me up after school for our weekend. But when I got to his apartment, this lady answered. She said Dad wasn't expecting anyone and told me to leave. The conference room suddenly feels too small. My colleagues stare as I gather my things, knocking over a water glass. Stay exactly where you are, baby. Which part of the station? Near the main entrance. The lady was mean, Mom. She acted like I was lying about Dad living there. I'm already running to my car, heels clicking against concrete. I'm 15 minutes away. Find a security guard and stay with them until I get there. Okay. She sniffs. Mom, who was that lady? The question burns in my throat. I've suspected Mark's been hiding something these past few months. The late nights, the defensive responses, the way he's been dodging our daughter's visits. But this? We'll figure it out together, I manage, gunning through a yellow light. Just stay safe. When I reach the station, Emily's sitting with a uniformed guard, her backpack clutched to her chest like a shield. She runs to me and I hold her close, breathing in the familiar scent of her strawberry shampoo. Thank you, I tell the guard, then guide Emily to the car. She's quiet during the drive home, but I can see her mind working. My daughter's always been perceptive, too perceptive sometimes. Finally, she speaks. The lady was wearing Dad's university sweatshirt. The blue one you got him for Christmas. My fingers tighten on the steering wheel. That sweatshirt, I'd spent hours hunting down that specific vintage edition Mark had mentioned wanting. She said she lived there, Emily continues, her voice small. That she'd never heard of me. Something inside me hardens, like concrete setting around a terrible truth. I glance at my daughter, seeing the hurt in her eyes, the confusion that shouldn't be there. Mark's betrayal isn't just about us anymore. He's wounded our child. Emily, I say carefully, I need you to tell me exactly what happened, every detail. As she speaks, I'm already planning. The private investigator's card Rachel gave me months ago is still in my wallet. I dismissed it then, telling myself I was being paranoid. Now I know better. Mark has no idea what he started. Emily's finally asleep upstairs, clutching that ratty stuffed penguin Mark won her at the pier 3 summers ago. I sit at the kitchen counter, staring at Rachel's business card. Michael Torres, private investigator. The edges are worn from being pulled out and stuffed back into my wallet so many times. You're not crazy, Rachel had said months ago, sliding it across our usual lunch table. Trust your gut. My phone buzzes. Mark's text glows on the screen. Sorry about today. Meeting ran late. Didn't know Emily was coming. I type and delete 3 responses before settling on. She was scheduled to spend the weekend with you, like always. Right. Lost track. Been swamped with the merger. The merger. Always the merger. 2 years of missed dinners, canceled weekends, and hollow explanations. I remember the night he got the San Francisco promotion, how he'd promised it would bring us closer as a family. Just 18 months, he'd said. Then I'll be back home full time. That was 8 months ago. My phone rings. Rachel. How's Emily? She asks without preamble. Devastated. Confused. I move to the back porch, keeping my voice low. Some woman answered his door, Rachel, wearing his clothes. Jesus. A pause. Did you call Torres yet? I can't afford. Stop it. You can't afford not to know. Her voice softens. Remember when Mark insisted on separate bank accounts last year? For tax purposes? My stomach twists. I defended him then, told Rachel she was being paranoid. Now every red flag I've ignored blazes like a neon sign. He's coming down next weekend, I say, claims he wants to make it up to Emily. Perfect timing to get eyes on him up there then. I trace the investigator's number on the card. What if I'm wrong? What if there's an explanation? Then you'll know. But Amy? Rachel's voice hardens. That woman didn't just appear in his apartment. She lives there. And she didn't know your daughter existed. My free hand clenches around my coffee mug. Emily's words echo in my head. She said she'd never heard of me, Mom. I'll make the call, I say. Good. And Amy? Whatever you find out, remember you've got me. We'll figure it out. After we hang up, I stare at the city lights below our hillside home. The house Mark insisted we buy, with its perfect view of Los Angeles. The mortgage I've been carrying alone for months while he's establishing himself in San Francisco. I dial Torres's number before I can talk myself out of it. It rings twice. Mr. Torres? I need your help tracking someone in San Francisco. The truth might shatter us, but this limbo is already breaking my daughter's heart, and that's something I won't forgive. Torres's manila envelope sits unopened on my desk for 3 hours. When I finally tear it open, photos spill across the polished wood like accusations. Mark and the woman, Jessica, according to Torres's report, walking hand in hand through San Francisco's financial district, sharing intimate dinners, entering his apartment building together, her head thrown back in laughter. The timestamp on one photo catches my eye. Emily's birthday weekend, when Mark claimed he had an emergency board meeting. My phone vibrates. Mark's weekly video call with Emily. Mom, is Dad ready? Emily hovers nearby, already looking disappointed, like she expects him to cancel. I force a smile and open the laptop. Mark appears on screen, sitting in what I now recognize as their shared apartment. The blue sweatshirt hangs visible in the background. Hey, sweetie, how's my girl? Emily's face lights up, and something inside me shatters. Dad, are you still coming this weekend? You promised we'd go to the science museum. About that. Mark runs a hand through his hair, his tell when he's lying. The merger's hitting a crucial phase. Maybe next... The merger. The words escape before I can stop them. Or is it Jessica? The color drains from Mark's face. Emily looks between us, confused. Amy, we should discuss this later. Who's Jessica? Emily asks. I slide one photo into view of the webcam. Mark and Jessica kissing outside his office building. His expression turns to steel. Emily, honey, go upstairs, please, he says. But, now, Emily. My voice is gentle but firm. She hesitates, then runs upstairs. The slam of her door echoes through the house. How dare you? Mark hisses. Using our daughter like that? Using her? Like you used her birthday as cover for your affair? It's not what you think. Jessica and I work together, live together, share my Christmas presents. Each word drops like acid, while our daughter gets turned away from your door like a stranger. I was going to tell you. When? After Emily found out from your girlfriend? After she spent months thinking she'd done something wrong? My hands shake as I spread out the photos. You're living a whole life up there, Mark. One that doesn't include us. We can fix this, he pleads. I'll come down tomorrow, we'll talk. No. The certainty in my voice surprises us both. You'll stay away until I figure out how to tell our daughter her father chose a stranger over her. I end the call before he can respond. Upstairs, I hear Emily crying. The sound hardens something in my chest. Torres's report contains more than photos, bank statements, property records, email transcripts, everything I need to destroy the careful fiction of Mark's new life. The question is, how much damage am I willing to do to make him feel what Emily's feeling right now? Emily hasn't spoken since the video call. She sits at the kitchen table, pushing cereal around her bowl, while I pretend to read work emails. The silence feels like a third person in the room. My phone lights up with Rachel's message. Mark's requesting an emergency board meeting. Something about stepping down from the merger. Before I can respond, Emily's voice cuts through the quiet. Is Dad living with that lady because I'm not good enough? The question hits like a physical blow. I set my phone down, choosing words carefully. Nothing about this is your fault, sweetheart. Then why doesn't he want us anymore? The doorbell rings before I can answer. Through the security camera, I see Mark on our doorstep, looking desperate in his rumpled suit. Emily's eyes widen with hope. Go upstairs, I tell her. Please. She hesitates, then runs up, but I know she'll be listening. She always does. I open the door just enough to block entry. You're not supposed to be here. I had to come. Mark's voice cracks. The board found out about Jessica. Someone sent them photos. That's not my problem. They're forcing me out of the merger. Everything I've worked for... He stops, noticing my lack of surprise. It was you. No, Mark. It was you. Every choice, every lie, every time you picked your new life over our daughter. That was all you. He steps closer, desperation rolling off him in waves. I can fix this. We can be a family again. Jessica means nothing. Like we meant nothing? The words taste like poison. Tell me, does Jessica know about the other woman in Seattle? The one you visit during those quarterly reviews? His face goes slack. How did you? Torres is very thorough. I pull out my phone, showing him the second report. 2 separate lives wasn't enough? You needed a third? Amy, please. Mom? Emily's voice drifts down from upstairs. Is Dad staying? Mark moves toward the stairs, but I block him. You don't get to hurt her again. She's my daughter, too. Then act like it. I lower my voice. The board meeting isn't your biggest problem, Mark. I haven't decided what to do with the rest of Torres's findings yet, but I will protect our daughter, whatever it takes. You're threatening me? I'm promising you. I meet his eyes. Emily deserves better than what you've done to her. Remember that before you try to fight me on custody. I close the door on his stunned face and lean against it, listening to his footsteps retreat. Upstairs, Emily's door creaks open. Mom? Coming, baby. I wipe my eyes, straighten my spine. How about we make pancakes? The custody papers sit in my bag, unsigned. By tomorrow, Mark will discover just how much I know about his house of cards. The question is, will he fold, or will I have to bring it all crashing down? The email from Jessica arrives 3 days after Mark's visit. I almost delete it until I see the subject line. There are others besides me. Emily's at school, giving me time to process Jessica's revelations. Not just Seattle, Vancouver, Portland, a string of lives Mark has built and abandoned. Jessica attached screenshots, bank statements, photos. She's as methodical in her fury as I am. My phone rings. Rachel. Mark's trying to claim temporary insanity, she says. His lawyer contacted the firm, says the stress of the merger caused a mental break. I laugh, but it sounds wrong even to my ears. Did he have a mental break in Seattle too? Vancouver? Portland? What? Jessica emailed. Turns out our husband's been building quite the collection of families. My fingers trace the rim of my coffee mug. She's willing to testify. Amy. Rachel's voice carries a warning. What are you planning? The doorbell interrupts my response. Through the security camera, I see Mark's mother, Catherine, standing on my doorstep. She's clutching her designer handbag like a shield. I have to go, I tell Rachel. His mother's here. I open the door, and Catherine sweeps in, all Chanel perfume and disappointment. What are you doing to my son? Hello to you too, Catherine. The board is threatening to press charges. Criminal charges. She emphasizes each word like I'm slow. Over some harmless indiscretions. Harmless? I pull up Jessica's email. Like the apartment he bought in Vancouver? Or the one in Portland? I watch her face pale. Did you know about his other families, Catherine? The other women? The other children? She sinks onto the couch. You're lying. Emily found out about Jessica by accident. How many other children has your son abandoned? I turn the laptop toward her. How many other mothers are out there, telling their kids daddy's just too busy to visit? He needs help, not persecution. Her voice wavers. If you ever loved him, I loved the man I thought he was. The words taste like ash. That man doesn't exist. What do you want? I want Emily to stop blaming herself for her father's choices. I want her college fund, the one he emptied last month, restored. I want... My phone buzzes. A text from Emily's school. She had a breakdown in class, crying, asking for her father. Catherine watches my face crumple. You're destroying this family. No, I say, grabbing my keys. Mark did that. I'm just making sure he can't do it to anyone else. As I drive to Emily's school, Jessica's email burns in my mind. How many other children are out there, wondering why they weren't enough? How many other women believed Mark's lies? The answer is clear now. This isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about justice. For all of us. The manila folder from Torres lands on my lawyer's desk with a dull thud. Vancouver, Portland, Seattle. 3 other families. 3 other children. My lawyer, Sarah, flips through the documents. Jesus Christ! He emptied Emily's college fund to pay for an apartment in Portland. My voice sounds distant even to myself. For his other daughter. She's 7. Sarah's eyes narrow at a particular document. These bank transfers... Amy, this is fraud. He's been moving company money through personal accounts. A text lights up my phone. Emily's therapist. Emily refused to speak during today's session, just drew pictures of empty houses. What happens if we take this to the police? I ask. Mark faces serious jail time. The company will press charges to protect themselves. Sarah hesitates. But Emily's name will be dragged into it. Everything becomes public record. My phone rings. Rachel. Turn on the news, she says without greeting. Channel 7. I grab the remote from Sarah's desk. Mark's face fills the screen standing outside his office building. He looks broken, defeated, exactly how he wants to appear. "Oh, deeply regret my actions," he's saying. "The pressure of supporting my family, of maintaining success. I lost myself. But with proper treatment and the support of my loving wife and daughter?" The coffee mug slips from my hand, shattering on the floor. "He's playing the mental health card," Sarah mutters. "Smart move." "Smart?" I laugh, but it sounds like breaking glass. "He's using our daughter as a shield, again." My phone buzzes with another text. Catherine. "Mark's checking into a treatment facility. Emily needs her father. Don't take that from her." The walls feel too close. Every path forward seems to lead through Emily's heart. "If we expose everything," Sarah says carefully, "Emily learns her father abandoned other children. If we don't, he gets away with it. Again." "And those other kids?" I whisper. "What about them?" Rachel's voice cuts through the speaker. "Amy, there's more. Jessica just called. She's pregnant." The room tilts sideways. I grip the desk, feeling the smooth wood under my fingers, trying to stay anchored. "He'll do it again," I say finally. "Treatment facility, public sympathy, fresh start. He'll hurt more families." "But exposing him hurts Emily," Sarah reminds me. "And the other children. Their mothers. Everyone becomes collateral damage in your revenge." My phone lights up one more time. Emily. "Mom, when is Dad coming home? He promised he'd get better." The choice crystallizes before me. Protect my daughter's heart, or protect future families from Mark's destruction. There's no clean victory, no path forward that doesn't leave casualties. I reach for the folder, my hands steady despite everything. "Show me where to sign." Sometimes the right choice feels like losing everything. The treatment facility looks more like a resort, all manicured lawns and discreet security. Mark requested this meeting, claiming he had something important to tell Emily. I agreed, but only if I could be present. "Mrs. Davidson." The receptionist's smile is practiced. "Mr. Davidson is in the garden room." Emily squeezes my hand as we walk through sunlit corridors. She's wearing the dress Mark bought her last Christmas, tags still attached until this morning. We find him sitting by a window, looking somehow smaller in casual clothes. No power suit, no carefully styled hair. He stands when he sees Emily, arms open for a hug she doesn't run to give. "Princess," he says. "You look beautiful." Emily stays close to my side. "Are you better now?" "I'm working on it." He gestures to the chairs. "There's something I need to tell you both." My phone vibrates. A text from Jessica. "He knows I talked to the Vancouver woman. Be careful." "I've been thinking about family," Mark starts. "About mistakes and second chances." "That's what this is about?" The words escape before I can stop them. "More chances?" "Amy, please." His eyes dart to Emily. "I'm trying to make things right." "By using our daughter as a shield? Again?" Emily's hand tightens in mine. "Mom, your father has something to tell you," I say. "About family, about other families." Mark's face drains of color. "Amy, don't." "Tell her about Portland, Mark. About the little girl who looks just like Emily did at 7. "Stop!" He stands abruptly. "This isn't the time." "When is the time? After you've hidden behind mental health claims? After you've convinced everyone you're the victim?" Emily pulls away from both of us, backing toward the door. "What's happening?" "Your father has other children," I say softly. "Other families he abandoned, just like he did to us." "I never abandoned," Mark starts, but Emily cuts him off. "Is that true?" Her voice shakes. "Do I have sisters?" The silence stretches like a rubber band about to snap. Mark looks at me, pleading silently, but I won't save him this time. "Yes," he finally whispers. "You do." Emily doesn't cry, doesn't scream. She just looks at her father with eyes too old for her face. "Did they think they weren't good enough too?" Mark crumples into his chair. In that moment, I realize revenge wasn't what I needed. This moment, watching Emily see her father clearly for the first time, this is justice. "Come on, baby," I say. "We're done here." As we leave, Emily pauses in the doorway. "I hope they get better dads," she says, and walks away from Mark for the last time. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't in destroying your enemy, but in finally seeing them for what they truly are. The doorbell rings as I'm helping Emily pack for summer camp. Through the security camera, I see Jessica standing on our doorstep, one hand resting on her visible pregnancy. "Stay upstairs," I tell Emily, who nods, already understanding more than a child should. Jessica looks different from her photos. Softer, more uncertain. "I wasn't sure you'd see me." "Neither was I." I step aside, letting her in. She places a thick envelope on the coffee table. "The Vancouver mom reached out. She wants to arrange a meeting for the kids. If you and Emily are interested." My throat tightens. "Why are you doing this?" "Because our children are siblings." She touches her belly. "And I don't want this one growing up thinking secrets and shame are normal." From upstairs comes the sound of Emily's music, that same sad playlist she's had on repeat since the treatment center. Jessica notices, her eyes filling with tears. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "I didn't know about Emily when—" "I know." The words surprise me with their truth. Neither did the others. "Mom?" Emily appears at the top of the stairs, clutching her penguin. "Is that her?" Jessica starts to stand, but I shake my head. This has to be Emily's choice. My daughter descends slowly, studying Jessica with those two old eyes. "Are you keeping the baby?" "Yes." Jessica's hand trembles on her stomach. "Would you like to know if it's a brother or sister?" Emily sits on the bottom step considering. "Does it matter? Dad will just find new ones anyway." The brutal honesty of childhood. Jessica flinches but doesn't argue. "That's why we're here," I say, picking up the envelope. "These other moms, these other kids, they're not new ones. They're family, if you want them to be." Emily looks at the envelope, then at Jessica's belly, then at me. "Will it help, knowing them?" "I don't know," I answer honestly, but hiding didn't help anyone. She nods, wisdom beyond her years. "Can I write to my sister in Portland first, before meeting?" "Of course." Jessica pulls out a letter from her purse. "She wrote to you first." As Emily takes the letter upstairs, Jessica turns to me. "The prosecutors want my testimony about the fraud." "I know." I meet her eyes. "They have mine too." "It won't fix anything." "No." I look up at Emily's room, where she's already reading her sister's letter. "But maybe that's not the point anymore." Jessica leaves quietly, but the envelope stays. Inside are photos, letters, small pieces of lives Mark tried to keep separate. Tomorrow, Emily and I will look through them together. We'll learn names, faces, stories. We'll build something new from the wreckage of Mark's lies. Not revenge, not even justice really, just truth, finally set free to heal what it once broke.